been a long time since I've done one of these lives, and I just want you to know I've missed it, and I'm really looking forward to coming back to this. So if you're joining me, thank you so much for being here, and if you're watching this on the replay, I am so excited to share this with you, and I hope that we answer any of your questions. So if you're watching this live, please feel free to post a question, a comment, anything you like in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, remember you can always leave comments on my YouTube channel. I love and really look forward to answering all of them, so I'll be able to help you out as soon as I can. Okay, so on to the actual medium income reveal. This is, oh my God, I haven't actually checked. I mean, I never check this month, but I don't think it's going to be a good one because I do check my stats every so often, and it was a decent month for me, but not like amazing. So let me share my screen real quick. Let me see if this works. No. It's been so long since I've been on Twitch. I've forgotten how to do basic screen shares. Let's try this. Okay. I think everybody can see my medium screen. Hopefully now. All right, so if you're, you can see my emails. That's unhelpful. Don't want that. Okay, now that should work. Perfect. So if you're watching this, I would love it if you could just pop a hello or let me know where you're watching this from in the chat. I would love to see your name pop up. My name is Zilly, and I'm making this video from Boston. Very excited to be here while I navigate to my partner program stats. Also, I just want to confirm that everybody can hear me. So if you can hear me, also please let me know that in the chat. I'm going to wait until I get confirmation of that. I know there's a delay with the chat. I don't know how long it is though. Surely if nobody could hear me, somebody would have said something by now. I'm going to post something in the chat just to make sure it's working. Okay, Congo Storm can hear me. Fantastic. So glad to hear that. Leroy Jenkins can also hear me. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for confirming that. Okay, so let's go on and actually see what the month looked like for me. Okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a really low month, but it looks like it was actually pretty good. Over $2,000. Awesome. So, I mean, for context, you can see it's one of my lower months that I've had since September. So, one of the lower months that I've had in a while. But honestly, I wrote, I think maybe 4 or 5 stories in March. So for writing 4 or 5 stories and getting that amount of money, I feel very, very lucky and blessed to have received that income. So, and it's also really interesting to me that a lot of that, almost a fifth of that came from my referred memberships. So if you're ever wondering, how much is it worth? For me, I know I have a bigger audience than a lot of the folks watching this, but it really does make a difference. Every penny adds up. And this is money that I'll get, I'll be getting on repeat every month unless people start canceling their subscriptions, which, of course they're entitled to do. I always like to see what stories make money, and I mean, you can see here which stories made money. There are stories about making money with writing. So that's the niche that I've kind of discovered for now is a good one for me. It's something that allows me to, because I've got a lot of experience in this area and I've got a lot of stories and tips and tricks that I can share with folks. So I feel really comfortable and happy sharing these kinds of stories. It's interesting that I actually wrote this one in January, but it is the gift that keeps on giving. It keeps earning me more and more money. I'm actually really interested. Let's see the stats for this. Let's see. Okay, so, wow. Okay, so that's wild. Anyway, so you can see most of the traffic definitely came in January, but even in February, even though there was much less traffic, it was still earning a ton of money. And then March started earning less money. There was definitely a drop between February and March, but still earning enough that it was still my top earning story for the month. So these things have long tails. I want to ask, does anybody have any questions while I've got you all here? I love having the opportunity to connect with people and answer questions one-on-one, hearing what people are struggling with or what's a challenge for them right now, or even if you just want to be nosy about my stats. I think having this kind of like visibility is really important, because I know there are like some rumors about people manipulating their stats screenshots, and I'm sure that's possible, but by doing this, hopefully you can see what the reality is for me and what things actually look like, and have the opportunity to ask questions in case you're curious about anything. I want to see my audience stats because this is such a big number. Okay, that's actually quite funny. So the thing you have to keep in mind about audience referrals is, for me, it cycles. Like, okay, so month 1, 2, great. Month 3, 54. Awesome. Why? I don't know. Here I had 36, another 52. Loving that. Not sure why, but happy about it. And then last month I just got 3. Yeah. These things happen. And honestly, 3 people, that means $6.60 or so every month. Like, that's 2 coffees from my local coffee shop. The free money. Definitely not saying no to that. Hey Laura, I see that you have said hello, Zuli, so I will anticipate your next chat message, which hopefully is your question. And if anybody's coming in late, you can just hop in here and just quickly see how much I've earned in March, which, like I said, I'm very happy with that. The really funny thing that I do want to share, a lot of you might know that I have a ghost account that I was trying to grow to 100 subscribers. And I can't show this with you, like I can't share the screen because I want to keep it a secret, but that account actually ended up making like over $700 this month, catching me completely by surprise. That was really fun. That was actually really, really cool. Still in shock. So that's also partially why I'm less bothered about having such a low month, because I have a nifty little $700 boost from my ghost account. So that's fun. Yeah. And then this is the other thing that like keeps me going when I have low months. I've always had low months on Medium. So like you can see here, I've had, in February I had I'm using low in scare quotes, right? Like it's not low. $2,000 from writing is incredible. I'm very, very happy and grateful for that. But you know, it's been down and then look, it goes right back up. It goes down, okay, and now it's right back up, and then back down and then back up. So I know that the potential is still there. Things just go up and they go down, and it's just the nature of the beast. Some months I'm good at knowing what my readers want to hear from me, and some months I'm not, and that's just part of the gig. Let's have a look at what stories, what my stories looked like this month for my stats. I know people always like to look at my stats. I like to look at my stats too, so I get it. Okay, so I would consider this to be an average month for me. This would be like a normal month. 85,000 views, which is, I'm happy with that. I didn't have any like massive stories this month. Totally fine. I had a pretty good, this one was pretty good for me. This, how I doubled my writing income overnight. And then obviously the 3 boring income streams story earned a ton of money, which I was great. Question from Mal Williams. Are these earnings from people signing up for paid Medium accounts? Great question. Yeah, so going back to my audience stats, that's exactly right. So this number here, that's how much money I earn when somebody uses my referral link to sign up to Medium for a paid membership. So you'll see, I'll go to the story just as an example. At the bottom of all my stories, if you bear with me, scroll through. Very long story. Okay, oh no, not this one. So I have this, join Medium with my referral link. So when somebody clicks on this link, they get taken to my referral page, they sign up, and if they sign up, I get half of their monthly membership fee forever, as long as they're members. And this amount of money, like, it's so easy to say like, oh, it's only $2.21 per person, like it's not that much. Every $2.20 you get from a person who signs up to Medium, you're going to be getting that every single month. that adds up so fast. And like you can see from me this month alone, I mean, you can see how much money have I made just from referral earnings. I've made, I think I can't do this math in my head that fast, but I think it's close to like 2,000, not 2,000, probably close to like $1,000-ish dollars. And that number, it might go up, it might go down. I can't control that, but for every month I have that, like that's amazing. That's and it's also like as a writer, it's so nice to know that I've created work that make people want to contribute to me and also to the platform that I write on, medium.com, in case there was any doubt there. Okay, let's go back to my stats, because I do want to show, like, thank you, Donald. They are insane. Every day I'm like, what? Amazing. I'm so lucky and so blessed. Like, that's so incredible to me. Yeah, really, really, really cool, if you ask me. So where was I? Oh yeah, I was looking at stories that had done well. This one, like I said, this 3 boring income streams one did really super well. That was a little bit of was it a surprise? No, I had hoped that it would do well. Donald asks me, luck or hard work? I used to think I was lucky. And I was honest about that. I was like, well, you know, I just keep getting lucky and I keep writing these stories that perform well. But I think I've been doing this long enough that I know that it's not just luck. It is hard work. I do a lot of research, which I share with you all on my YouTube lives, on my workshops, on my Twitch streams, etc. That it is actually hard work. And I proved this to myself by creating this brand new account that I was telling people who joined earlier. The brand new account made $700 this month. And that's not luck. That's because I know how to write stories that reach audiences, that resonate with audiences. And that satisfied my doubts about the question, at least, which felt really good to know. I deserve this. This is something that I can do, that I'm good at. So yeah. Oh, question from Kaiser. Do you use Medium primarily as a marketing platform rather than a primary income, since the monthly income isn't as high as your contracting work? Yeah, great question. So I want to actually show you a little like money story, if you'll bear with me for that long. So let's zoom in here. Let's see. October 2020. This is about the time that I stopped working at my last corporate gig, and you can see I had 3 really good months where I was like, I can make a go of this. And you'll notice that then the few months after that were a little lower. Like I said, I had some high months and I had some low months. But it was so indeterminate that I was like, I don't want to rely on Medium to be my number one source of income. So, and that actually means that when I do have months like this where I'm like, yeah, it's a good amount. I can't live off that because I live in the 3rd most expensive city in America, but it's a nice number. I'm not like panicking. I'm not like worried, because so much of my money now comes from freelance gigs, from ghostwriting gigs, from selling my stuff like on my email list. So yeah, primarily nowadays I do use it as a marketing platform, and I try my best to think of this money here as like a bonus. My base income is my connection with my audience, the courses that I sell, the products that I sell, my client relationships, the money that I make from them, and the value I'm able to provide to them. And then that's just great. That's just like a nice, you know, it's a very wonderful bonus, but I try very hard to think of it as a bonus. Hopefully that makes sense, Kaiser 501. And then you can also see that strategy that I've been writing more articles about, you know, how to build a freelance writing business, the things that you need to keep in mind. So these articles are written with the primary purpose of driving people to, well, first of all, reaching readers who are going to be interested in the kind of value I can provide, and B, showing them that there's value on Medium if they want to continue reading my stuff, but also off Medium, like if they want to get their Medium starter kit, if they want to come to lives like this or something like that, they can reach me on my mailing list. How often do you put your articles behind the Medium paywall? So I put every single article behind the Medium paywall. It's an interesting question, because you're right. Maybe I don't have to if I'm just using it primarily as a marketing platform. But at the moment, I don't think I'm missing out on any audience. Like, the Medium audience is so big and the number of people I'm reaching is so big that I'm still getting a really steady stream of income, of mailing list subscribers using this strategy, even though I'm paywalling all my articles. So I'm getting the money as a bonus from creating the content and posting it online, but I'm still getting secondary sources of income through my clients and through, of course, readers who want to engage with my content further, whether that's like ad revenue from watching my YouTube videos, or if they join one of my cohorts, which is really cool. Do you recommend putting it behind the paywall when you're starting out or building an audience first? I recommend putting it all behind a paywall. Unless you're really good at SEO, I think it's unlikely that you're going to be missing out on viewers because you've paywalled your stuff, and the paywall allows you to earn money for what you do. What we do is hard. Writing is hard. Writing in a way that reaches people is hard. And even if it's just a few pennies, like I love to look back at my very first month, even if it's just a couple of bucks, even if it's $3.32, you deserve that. And I encourage everyone to paywall their stuff because you should be thinking of your content as something worth paying for. Donnie asks, what was your views reads rate? Great question. Pretty low, actually. So what's 30 out of 85? Anybody have a calculator on them? Let's quickly go to Google. 30 divided by 85. Okay, so a 35% read rate. That's definitely a lot lower than I've had in the past. Although not that much lower. It's pretty consistent, actually, with what I've been seeing lately. There was definitely a switch. I don't know when exactly. Maybe maybe around here, whatever, October. I think this is hypothetical. I'm not 100% sure. I need my conspiracy theory hat. I don't know where it is. I think that when Medium switched over to allow people to read emails when I email stuff, I think that contributes to the read rate because they view the article, but they don't necessarily read it. I don't know. All I know is that I'm not the only one who's experienced a really big drop in reads. It could be because I'm writing longer stuff. It could be because I'm not writing as engaging an intro, or it could be a factor totally beyond my control. I'm not 100% sure. Just a comment from Laura. Sorry, the comma led me to assume that there was going to be something else coming. I'm really glad to hear that this is helpful and useful for you. This is exactly why I want to do it. When starting, what publishing schedule do you recommend? 1 article a day, 3 a week, etc.? Another great question. Great question from you, Kaiser. I don't know how controversial this is going to be. I think trying to publish every day is stupid. I think it's bad advice because it will burn you out. And honestly, unless you're like a super genius, you probably don't have that much new or interesting to say every single day if you're publishing every single day. I certainly don't, at least. And when I tried that publishing method myself, I found that I was reusing a lot of work. I was just creating content for the sake of it rather than trying to like actually create something valuable. So there's no one answer is the short answer. The longer answer is you need to find what works for you. You need to find how often can you publish good quality work that is meaningful to you and to your audience, and how long can you keep that up. So what I recommend for people is to start with 1 article a week. Just 1 a week. Force yourself to just do 1 a week for a month. See how that goes. See how you feel. Are you like overflowing with ideas? Are you having to hold yourself back because you have so many ideas? Okay, then on month 2, try 2 articles a week. How well does that work? The main thing is that people, they get over enthusiastic. Don't know what's going on here. Here we go. They get over enthusiastic. They think that like, they can do it once a day for months on end, and then 2 months in they're like, oh, I can't do this anymore, and then they stop writing for good. And that's a tragedy every time that happens. So I think it's more important to value your long-term energy versus short-term results. So 1 a week, start from there, build your way up if you have to, but 1 a week is what I do, and I think it's not a bad strategy. Study Daniel. I finished your course. Great stuff. Would you recommend that I post on Medium right away or sign up to publication? Glad you enjoyed the course. I would recommend going with the publication. This is what I did when I did my beginner on Medium thing. I tried 3 I tried to self-publish 3 stories. I think they got like between 0 and 2 views, which for I don't want to sound smug, but like this is the kind of numbers that I'm used to. Getting 2 views on a story was like, oh my God, what happened to me? Then I went to publications, and almost instantly I was getting 50, 60, 100, 1,000 views. Not on every story, but on every story, I was getting more views than I was when I self-published. I recommend submitting to publications because it's the fastest way to grow as a beginner. I recommend writing out a backlog of articles ahead of time to keep to a publishing schedule? For example, writing 10 articles or so ahead of time to give you time to write more, sort of buffer. You can try that, but then what happens when you get to the end of the buffer? I think it's way more important to build up a regular routine and schedule that you can keep to, because otherwise you're going to run into an obstacle, and then like when your buffer's gone, you don't even have that, and then you're just staring at the screen like, oh no, I have no time to write. You can. It is a strategy that can work, but I think it's more important to build that writing momentum internally too. And honestly, if you can't commit to writing 1 article a week, you probably should give yourself a little bit more time before you start writing online, because 1 article a week is what I would consider the minimum. I went from 3 in my first month, then jumped to 500. Can I explain how in the Hades I did that? Yes, I can. I'm going to see if I can find the story. This was my first viral article. Yeah, look at that. Look at me. I was only a tiny writing baby back then. This was my first, viral article that I wrote. And this is how I did that. So I got curated back when being curated actually meant something. And reads also meant a lot more in those days. So nowadays, if I get 7,000 views, that's not going to be $200. It's maybe going to be 50 or 60, which is fine. But this was the story. This got distributed in humor and pets, and I had never seen numbers like this before when I started on Medium. So this was my 2nd month, and this was when I was like, oh, you can make money writing on Medium. And that's when I started to take it a little bit more seriously. I started writing stories that were performing well. I started writing more stories that were like in different topics. I tried out different niches, and I found what worked for me. Hopefully that answers your question. Do I recommend posting under my own name or posting under a brand name? Okay, so what you should know is that Zuli is a pen name. Zuli is not my real name. I made it up when I started. Well, actually, I made it up when I was like 10, and I was like, oh, I want to be a fiction writer. I want a cool name. And I came up with Zuli Rain on the back of a napkin when I was like, I must have been like 10, 8 or 10 maybe. Anyway, short answer is I think using a human name, I use human versus brand, is better because you can form more authentic connections with your readers. So Zuli's made up the name, but what I post is very real. I write about myself. I write about my experiences, my skills. When you write under a brand, you're introducing, in my opinion, an unnecessary level of separation between you and your reader. And they also start wondering like, okay, well, is this all for your brand? Like, is this all to sell whatever your brand is trying to sell? And maybe it is, but that might put readers off. I would recommend writing from a one-person perspective, like a first-person perspective. Is there a certain word count you should aim for? As long as it's over 700 words, I would recommend as a minimum. Beyond that, you're free to do whatever you want. Are short articles better than long ones? What do you think? Well, I think that's, no offense, I think that's a bad question. Because better than longer ones in what way? Are they more likely to earn money? Are they more likely to engage readers? Are they more likely to communicate value? I think short articles have their place. Long articles also have their place. And it just depends on what story you're trying to tell and how long it takes you to tell that story. I think most writers, no, that's not fair to say. I was going to say most writers write stuff that's too long, but it's not true. I've seen a lot of people who don't develop ideas. So I would say that it's best to write a story. Sorry, I'm just going to open this up in case anybody's wondering what I made this month. It's best to write a story that is exactly as long as it takes to tell the story well without rambling or filling it with too much fluff. So that's the slightly trickier answer. Unfortunately, there's no like, it should be this long exactly to do well. Yeah, it's a good question, but it's a complicated answer. Cool. Is there a certain way I could ask you questions or kind of get lucky to find you on Twitch, YouTube Live? Yeah, so I answer every single one of my YouTube comments. That's the best way to reach me on my YouTube channel. You can ask related questions to the YouTube video. You can ask unrelated questions. You'll obviously have to wait a little longer than what you're waiting for here, but I think I go through them about once a week, so you won't have to wait longer than that. You can also email me, so I've got my email address. I won't say it here because like I've been spammed before. But if you are subscribed to my mailing list, you can just hit reply on any of those and I'll get back to you again about within a week. So that's the best way to reach me. I try to be as open to kind of communication like this as possible because I know how tricky it can be to know some of these like weird small things, like the fact that you should write longer stories on Medium, like longer than 600 or 700 words. That's just something I know, but they don't really say that anywhere. Those kinds of questions you're more than welcome to pop into an email or into a YouTube comment. Do you turn my comments on other people's stories into stories on your page? Do you make any money from doing that? Or is that proof that you're moving around the platform? No, I don't. I don't paywall those comments. Mostly because I don't think they would make any money, but also because I don't leave that many comments. Normally when I see something that I like, I'm reading something that one of my friends wrote, so I normally just like send them a message on Slack or WhatsApp. If it's from a writer I'm not in usual contact with, then yeah, I'll normally leave a comment, but then I don't paywall it. Or publish it to my profile. I think I mostly just leave comments as a way to be like, hey, I think this was cool, like as a way to tell the writer what I liked about their work and let them know that I saw it and I liked it, because I know when I get comments like that, that means the absolute world to me. So that's the feeling that I'm trying to give to other people too. Hopefully that answered your question. I'm getting parched over here. I thought I had my tea, but I forgot it. Devastating. Cool. So I think I'm caught up on questions, and it's been just under half an hour. So I'll leave like 30-ish seconds in case anybody else has any other questions. I'm just gonna go get my water. Sorry, I'll be right back, and I'll answer any questions that are back when I get back, and if not, I will let you all go and see you soon. So give me just one tick. Hello, I'm back. Let's see if I've got any questions. Okay, no questions. Great. Looks like Study Daniel said, sent you the question. Great, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I don't know who Tom Fenke is. I mean, honestly, if he thinks it's a good idea and you believe in him and trust in him as a creator, yeah, go for it. Why not? I don't see any reason not to do it, to be honest. It's not something I do, but a lot of what I do is idiosyncratic to me as a person. So if you think it's a good idea, I definitely wouldn't say like don't do it. I would just say, yeah, why not? Which platform brings your highest yield? Yeah, definitely. Okay, quick explanation of how my income streams work for anybody who doesn't know this. I think of my income streams as three. There is platforms like Medium, Vocal, YouTube, Quora, Newsbreak. Media, out of those platforms, Medium is definitely the highest earner for me. I earn, I don't know, maybe like $300 or $400 a month from YouTube. It's money. I'm not going to say no to it, but it's nothing like what I earn from Medium. I earn very little from Quora. I'm not on Newsbreak anymore. Maybe a couple pennies from Vocal every once in a while. So Medium's definitely the highest for me. My second stream is my client stream. So freelance writers, ghostwriting, editing, stuff like that. Clients who have brands, companies, products come to me and say, Zuli, we would like your help to create, I don't know, a series of blog posts about self-driving cars. That's never happened before, but who knows, it might. So I would say that's my highest earning stream right now. I've had a really good month from clients. I think this month I earned, I don't don't know, maybe over $8,000 from client work. That's out of the ordinary for me, but that was my highest earning stream. And third is myself. It's the money I make from doing one-on-one consultations, from from selling my courses, from running small group coaching programs, that kind of thing. So that's like myself as an income stream from a direct relationship that I have with people like you who consume my stuff, not just on platforms, not just on clients, but like we communicate and hang out and you buy something directly from me that's of value to you. Okay. I'm so happy to help. Captain Jupiter. Very cool username. How long does it take to break the 10K follower mark starting from 0? Literally no clue. I couldn't even tell you how long it took me. Maybe like a year? Honestly, everyone's path is so different, and followers, I will say this now, followers have very little bearing on how much money you can stand to earn on the platform. I've got 46,000 followers today and I earned $2,200. My ghost profile, I think, has less than 300 followers and earned $700. So make of that what you will. How much time did I dedicate daily, weekly, before I was able to go full-time, and did that amount of time change after I went full-time? Yeah, so I used to spend, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 hours a day when I was doing it before I went full-time. So like lunch breaks, evenings, a lot of weekend work. Probably more like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours a day. And I spend about the same now, which is just great. I've got about the same amount of money and I'm spending about the same amount of time. So very happy with what I do. All right, I am truly running out of vocal juice. Oh, one more question. How do I do time management? Do I keep my calendar clean every morning or so? From Alexander Verbeek. My time management, daily to-do lists don't really do it for me, and clearing off my calendar also doesn't work for me. So I can show you actually, sorry, that was loud. I set myself up with weekly to-do lists. I don't know if you can see, I go old school analog. So I divvy up my weekly to-do list in the same 3 streams that I just explained. I have, okay, what do I need to do this week for clients? What do I need to do this week for platforms? And what do I need to do this week for myself? So stuff like client work will be like, outline this, draft that. Stuff for client work, Stuff for platform work will be like, upload to Twitch, edit that YouTube video. And stuff for myself will be like, send out 2 newsletters this week, promote my webinar. I don't know, something like that. So that's how I manage my time, but time management it's such a personal thing. It depends so much on who you are and what method works best for you. So I can't say if this is like the best. It's the best for me though. So Steve, I missed your question. I'm scrolling, but I don't see your question, Steve Sloan. If you could pop it again, that would be fantastic, if that's okay. I'll drink some water in the meantime because I'm still very thirsty. Four questions above this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I only see 1 from Captain Jupiter, 2 from Kaiser, another comment from Captain Jupiter, 1 from Alexander Verbeek. If you could just paste the question again, it looks like maybe the internet connection just didn't go through for that one. Sorry. I mean, like, I've been Zuli for so long now. Jazz X Cass, hopefully that's how I'm saying it. That it doesn't feel like a pen name anymore. It feels more like a business name. Josh. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Josh. So it's like my writing friends call me Zuli. If that's just what my name is to them. So like on our group chats and when I see them in person, that's just what they call me. So it feels very real to me now. Okay. Extremely new to Medium. I have tried to join various publications from fiction writers. Thus far, I've not heard a thing from any of them. Months and months have gone by. What do you suggest? Thanks, Steve. This is actually a really tough question to answer because it depends so much on like which ones did you try? What were your outreach methods? Stuff like that. And unfortunately, I don't have time to do that kind of like detailed analysis for everyone who asks. So what I would recommend anyone in your situation would do, first of all, make sure you're applying to Publications that are recent, it sounds silly to say this, but a lot of publications that are open to submissions are like dead on Medium. So what I do to make sure that I'm doing that is I go to medium.com/topic/fiction. Oh, sorry, tag, not topic. So this is a reverse chronological order of all the publications, all the stories on Medium that were tagged fiction. So Lit Life, published a day ago. Promptly Written, published a day ago. Know Thyself, Heal Thyself, 22 days ago. Let's see, Redemption, 7 hours ago. So this shows me current up-to-date publications that are publishing today. The second thing I look for, let's take Redemption as an example. Do they have a submissions tab? Are they open to new writers? Or do they want new writers? Let's see guidelines. That would be where I would guess. Transgressive fiction. So it looks like they are accepting submissions. So you have to follow, and they have pretty clear guidelines on how to do that. So that's number 2. And then 3, if they don't get back to you at that point, I would look for the editors and I would leave a private comment on their story. So for example, let's find Paul Mansfield. Let's see what he's been publishing lately. So he published this story lately. I would go on his story. I would clap for it. Oops. And then I would leave a private comment. I don't know if you can see that sort of lock icon is how you leave a private comment. Hi, Steve. I loved your story. Thank you so much for running such a cool publication. By the way, I submitted to join your publication a few months ago and I haven't heard back. Can you offer any feedback or advice on how to join the publication? I'd love to be a part of this cool project. Something like that, I found usually gets pretty good results. Okay. Can you post an article yourself and then try to get it published in a publication, or do you send it to a publication and then wait for a reply? Often what I write is related to the news. If it doesn't stay fresh, I have to wait. Yeah, great question. So most publications want unpublished drafts. And so that means that they usually want you to submit something that hasn't yet been published. There are some publications where there's an exception. They'll accept something that is already published under your own profile. But for the most part, they want fresh stuff too. What that means is that you either have to give up the idea of publishing from publications, create your own publication, or alternatively, you can look for publications that have really snappy response times. So that's my best advice. Okay, I really do have to go now because I'm getting a call from my internet provider, so I will let you all go. Thank you so much for being part of this, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye, everybody.